Do you know what the first real step to becoming wealthy is? It's not starting a business. It's not making a big investment. It's not even earning more. It's changing the way you think. This transformation doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your mind. Look, many people grew up hearing things like money doesn't grow on trees, if you're born poor, you die poor, or money is for greedy people. These phrases, even when unnoticed, shape our beliefs, and those beliefs turn into invisible barriers that stop us from growing financially. The poor in here understand poor as a mindset, not just a condition. Think like consumers. They see money as something meant to be spent making money. It means buying something that brings immediate pleasure: new phone, trendy shoes, an expensive dinner on the weekend. It's like every dollar has one destination: to leave your wallet as fast as possible. Now, the rich think differently. They think like investors. To them, money is a seed, and the goal is not to eat it, but to plant it. They spend to multiply. They invest in knowledge, in assets, in experiences that bring returns. They think long-term about freedom, about building a life that sustains itself. And do you know how you start flipping that mental switch? With a simple but powerful exercise. Grab a piece of paper right now, or open a notes app on your phone, and write down all your beliefs about money. Everything from what you heard as a child to the things you still repeat today. Write phrases like, "I'll never be good with money. It's hard to get rich honestly. I earn too little. Can't invest now." Next to each of those, write a new version with an investor's mindset. For example, "I'll never be good with money. It becomes each day. I learn more about managing money wisely. I earn too little to invest. Becomes even with a small amount. I can start small and grow consistently." The simple practice begins to reprogram your brain, and when you change what you believe, you change what you do, and what you do transforms your results. Because in the end, your bank account is just a reflection of your mindset. Imagine your money is like water from a faucet. If you don't know where it's going, the bucket eventually runs dry, even if the faucet is wide open. That's what happens to a lot of people. Have you ever felt like the month is ending, and you have no idea where your money went? That has a name: lack of cash flow control. Cash flow is simply this: what comes in and what goes out of your wallet. But here's the secret: it's no use earning more if you keep spending poorly. A lot of people believe, if I made more, my life would be better. But the truth is, the problem isn't just how much you earn, but how you manage what already comes in. Let me tell you Sophie's story. She was a marketing manager, had a good salary and a good position, but lived in debt. Her paycheck would hit her account, and the next day, most of it was already gone. She bought on impulse, paid in installments without thinking, forgot to track small expenses, and this turned into a snowball, until one day, she stopped everything and decided, "I need to treat myself like a business." She started tracking every cent she spent, used a simple phone app to record even her coffee purchases. At the end of the month, she was shocked. More than 30% of her income was going to things she couldn't even remember buying. From then on, she did what any smart business would do: cut waste, prioritized essentials, and started setting aside a fixed amount each month to invest. The result? 2 years later, she wasn't just debt-free, she had started to build wealth, and most importantly, she took back control of her financial life. You can do that too. Grab a notebook or an app on your phone for the next 30 days. Write down everything, absolutely everything you spend. At the end of the month, categorize your expenses: essential, voidable, and unnecessary. You'll be surprised by how much money is leaking away for no reason. Remember, you can't improve what you don't measure. Whoever controls their cash flow, controls their financial future, is one of the biggest wealth secrets. Simple, yet ignored by most people. The rich buy assets, the poor buy liabilities, thinking they're assets. But what does that actually mean? An asset is something that puts money in your pocket every month. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket every month, even if you think it's an investment. For example, a rental property asset, a financed car liability, your dividend-paying stock asset, a new phone bought in 12 installments liability. Why does this matter? Because the rich build a life where assets work for them. So even if they stop working one day, the money keeps coming in. Want a real-life example? Meet Thomas. Thomas wasn't born wealthy. He worked as an IT analyst and through a lot of effort, saved up around $2,000. Instead of spending that money on something short-lived, he made a strategic decision: start building his first assets. First, he studied ETFs, index funds traded on the stock exchange that let you invest in many companies at once with a small amount of money. He put part of his savings there. Then he found a small property in a small town, simple, but well located. With the rest of his money and smart financing, he bought the property, renovated it, and rented it out. But he didn't stop there. He started a YouTube channel to teach what he was learning. At first, few people watched, but he kept going. Over time, he gained subscribers, monetization, and another stream of passive income. Today, the income from those three assets already surpasses the salary he used to earn. And it all started with the simple decision: stop spending like a consumer and start building like an investor. You can start small like Thomas. It could be an online sale, a vacation rental, a channel about something, or investing in financial assets. The key is changing the question you ask yourself. Instead of what can I buy with this money, ask what can I build or acquire with this money that will keep paying me month after month. That's the game of wealth. Those who learn to play it never again depends solely on their own effort to earn money. Investing seems complicated, right? Many people think it's only for those who have a lot of money or understand everything about finance. But the truth is, anyone can and should learn to invest, even starting small, even starting clueless. And that's what happened to Marie. She was a school teacher, earned little, and had never invested in her life. But one day, she realized that if she kept relying only on her salary, she would never have freedom. She decided to start, and she didn't wait for the perfect moment. She started with $100 a month. She studied the basics: what the stock market is, how funds work, what actually brings profit. And every month, without fail, she put in a little. She didn't even check if it was going up or down. She just kept the habit. 5 years passed when she checked her balance. She had over $30,000 invested, the result of patience, discipline, and constant learning. No luck, no magic formula. That's what investing is: making money work for you. And it doesn't require a lot. It requires starting and continuing. If there's one thing the wealthy constantly do, it's learn. They never stop. They're always reading, listening, watching, having conversations. Because they know the more they learn, the better decisions they make. Robert Kiyosaki always says, invest in yourself first. And that doesn't mean spending a fortune on expensive courses. It means committing to understanding how money works. Start with a book, one video a day, a podcast on the way to work, even a conversation with someone who's done what you want to do. The important thing is to keep evolving. Whoever stops learning gets stuck, and whoever gets stuck repeats the same mistakes month after month, year after year. You don't need to know everything today. You just need to be willing to learn a little more tomorrow. You've probably heard the phrase, tell me who you hang out with, and I'll tell you who you are. In the world of finances, this makes more sense than ever. The truth is, you are, on average, like the 5 people you spend the most time with. This goes for your habits, your conversations, your vision of the future, and, of course, your finances too. If you spend your day around people who only talk about problems, debt, bills, and constantly complain about life, chances are you'll start thinking the same way. But if you start spending time with people who talk about opportunities, investments, growth, and projects, something changes inside you. Your mind expands. You start seeing paths where you used to see walls. That's exactly what happened to Mark. Mark was an average guy, a civil servant, comfortable in his routine until one day, out of curiosity, he joined an investment club in his city. At first, he felt lost. He was the only one there who would never bought a single stock. But instead of walking away, he stayed. He started listening, taking notes, asking questions. And something amazing happened. Within a few months, his way of thinking had changed. Those conversations that once felt distant started making sense. Mark began to see money as a tool, not a problem. He stopped complaining about lack of resources and started finding ways to make his money stretch. He started investing, learning more, and even think about starting a business. All of that because he changed his environment. He stopped surrounding himself with people who pulled him down and started spending time with people who pushed him forward. If you want to change your financial life, start by changing who's around you. You don't have to abandon anyone, just start seeking new groups, new content, new influences. Go to events, join communities, have conversations with people already on the path. Sometimes the difference between staying where you are and taking the next step is the next conversation you'll have. Now imagine this scene. You're browsing online and a promo pops up. Sneakers, a phone, a handbag, something you don't need, but in the moment feels irresistible. The discount is just for today, and the buy button is just a click away. Sound familiar? That's how many financial traps happen. The truth is, most people don't overspend because they're irresponsible. They overspend because they don't stop to think. And that's where a simple but powerful rule comes in. The 24-hour rule. It works like this. Before buying anything impulsively, you give yourself the right to wait 24 hours. That's it. No card right away. No last chance. No automatic checkout. Just save the link, take a breath, and come back the next day. What usually happens the next day? You realize you didn't really need it. The excitement is gone. The urgency was just emotional. And just like that, you avoid an unnecessary expense. This small pause may seem too simple to make a difference, but don't be fooled. When practiced consistently, it can save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars each month. Money that could be invested, used to pay off debt, or even fulfill a bigger dream. The 24-hour rule is an exercise in self-control, and financial self-control is what separates those who are always putting out fires from those who build wealth. So next time you're tempted by a can't-miss deal, remember, if it's not good tomorrow, maybe it was never that great to begin with. The journey to financial freedom isn't perfect. There will be days when you feel like spending on nonsense. There will be months when it seems like nothing is working. But those moments are part of the process. Think about it. No one becomes healthy by eating well for just a week. Just like no one gets rich by saving money once. Everything we've talked about so far, changing your mindset, managing your cash flow, building assets, investing wisely. These are habits. And habits are built through repetition, not impulse. Maybe you're just getting started. Maybe you've stumbled a few times. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're on the right path. You've stopped to learn. You're seeking growth. You're doing what most people avoid, facing your financial life head on. And that already places you in a small group. A group of people who've chosen to act, even with little, who've understood that no one is coming to save their finances, that it depends entirely on them. Remember this every day. You're not working just for money. You're building freedom. Now that you understand the principles comes the most important part, putting them into action. Because knowledge without action is like a seed kept in a drawer. It has potential, yes, but it won't bear fruit if it isn't planted. A lot of people get excited watching videos, reading books, jotting down tips. But when the video ends, life goes back to autopilot. The credit card keeps being used without thought, the paycheck keeps vanishing, and the plans are always postponed. That's exactly what you need to avoid. The next step doesn't have to be big. In fact, the simpler it is, the better. Maybe today, all you need to do is open a spreadsheet and list everything you spent in the last 7 days. Or maybe it's time to open your first investment account, even if you don't know how much you'll invest yet. Maybe you just need to review those old money beliefs that hold you back and start writing a new story. What you can't do is stop. Remember, Thomas, Marie, Sophie, and Mark. None of them started out knowing everything. None of them turned their life around in 30 days. But they all had one thing in common. They decided to act. And that decision changed everything. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to take the next step with intention. And if you fall, get up, adjust, learn, restart, but with more wisdom. Because building real wealth isn't a sprint. It's a steady walk with clear direction, made of better choices every day. The truth is, getting rich isn't an event. It's not something that happens suddenly, like a stroke of luck. Becoming wealthy as a process, a path made of small daily decisions. What separates those who reach financial freedom from those who are always living on the edge isn't salary or birthplace or luck, it's mindset and consistency. Those who choose to shift their thinking, control their spending, invest patiently, and keep learning, build a solid foundation, and that foundation supports a free life, free from fear, dependence, and scarcity. Every step you take, no matter how small, is building something, and the more intentional you are, the faster this process accelerates. Once you understand that, you start to see money differently, not as a problem or a goal, but as a tool to help you achieve what truly matters. So don't compare yourself to anyone, don't wait for the perfect moment, and don't underestimate the power of what you're doing right now. You've already started, and once you start, you're already in the game. Since we were little, we were taught to work hard, earn a good salary, climb the career ladder, and if everything goes well, may one day much later, finally live in peace. But that's an endless race, and many people spend their entire lives in it, tired, frustrated, hoping a raise or a promotion will fix everything. But it doesn't, because the problem isn't how much you earn, it's the model. If money only comes in when you work, then you're trapped. And worse, any unexpected event can bring your life to a halt. Now think differently. What if instead of you working for money, money started working for you? That's what the wealthy do. They build systems, assets, and investments that keep generating income even while they sleep, travel, or relax with family. That's the real game of freedom, turning effort into asset building. Every dollar that comes in is not just for paying bills, but to feed a machine that over time begins to run on its own. You don't have to stop everything you're doing, but you do need to start building income sources that don't depend 100% on your daily effort. Whether it's a simple investment, a digital product, a small side business, a rental, an online channel, the important thing is to begin slowly, wisely, with long-term vision. Because the sooner you stop chasing money, the faster money starts chasing you. A lot of people enter the financial world just thinking about getting more money, a better house, a new car, travel, getting out of debt. All of that is valid. And yes, money can provide those things. But there's something it can give you that's infinitely more valuable: time. Think about it. What's the point of earning more and more if you still don't have time to live, no time to eat, calmly take care of your health, watch your kids grow up, visit your parents, or simply wake up slowly on a random day? True financial freedom isn't about hoarding money. It's about reclaiming control over your time. When you build assets, invest wisely, and organize your financial life, you start having choices, and those who have choices have power. You can decide to work less, move to another city, study something new, or simply say no to the things that once held you hostage. That's what happened to Helena. She was a sales manager, excellent at her job, but always stressed. A packed schedule, absurd targets, constant travel. After learning about financial freedom, she started building her structure. She made a plan, cut unnecessary expenses, and created passive income through rentals and investments. 5 years later, she resigned, not because she hated the job, but because she could finally choose how to live. Today, she's still active, but on her own terms. She gives consulting sessions, gives talks, has time for her kids, and takes care of her health with peace of mind. The money she built bought her something no one can sell: quality, time. And that's what you should aim for. Because at the end of the day, what truly matters isn't how much money you have in the bank, but how you use the time you've been given in this life. We've made it this far, and if you've read or watched all this, it's because there's something inside you that refuses to keep living on autopilot. You're ready to flip the switch, ready to build, not just survive. Now you have the knowledge, you have the examples, and most importantly, you have the choice. You can leave this video and keep doing everything the same as before, or you can use what you've learned here to take the first step toward building your financial freedom, one choice at a time, with intention, focus, and a vision for the future. If this content made sense to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. It could be a friend, a sibling, someone who's feeling discouraged, in debt, or lost. Sometimes one video is all it takes to change an entire life. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Here, we'll keep bringing you content that truly helps you grow with clarity, strategy, and honesty. Like the video, leave a comment below, telling us what impacted you the most, and get ready because the journey is just beginning. See you in the next video.